Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with another Mr. Hornsby 83. This is a topic slash review show. The 420 episode I was talking about on my last video, which was my Disney one. I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the Friday movies. Half-Baked on TV right now. My favorite Cheech and Chong movie, Nice Dreams. And that's probably all I'll talk about. Oh yeah, Big Lebowski. Definitely gonna talk about that one. So anyway, I just got done watching the Friday and Big Lebowski, so I'm gonna talk about the Big Lebowski first. This movie is, and look, I'm not, like I said, I don't get high or anything. I do have family that does, and you know, my high is working out in the gym, so but I do have family that does, and you know, so I want to wish them happy 420 out there. And my well, I'm not going to tell you who. But
we don't promote it, though.
I don't promote it, but so I'm going to talk about Big Lebowski, my favorite Jeff Bridges movie, my favorite John Goodman movie. Just hilarious. It's about a stoner bowler by the name of Jeffrey Lebowski, who him and his friends start out bowling, and then somewhere along the line in the movie, he's on an adventure to get his carpet fit. Actually, starts out with Sam Elliott narrating. You see him in the store buying some milk for some kind of alcohol he makes throughout the whole movie. I don't know what it's called, but so as he's being introduced, you see him buying the stuff, and then, you know, it gets into him coming home, and his two henchmen are sitting there, and one's ramming his head in the toilet saying, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" And he's like being sarcastic, and I think it's down there somewhere, and then he keeps pushing his head into the toilet. And then they say, "Your wife Bunny owes us money," and he eventually tells them, "I'm not, do you see a ring on this finger, man? I'm not married," and this and that. You got the wrong guy. And the two goofballs realize that afterward, the goofball henchmen, which that's not the last time you see him in the movie. But next up, the guy takes out his bowling ball before they leave. He's like, "What's this?" He's like, "Obviously you're not a golfer." Well, that's just hilarious because it's a bowling ball, but yeah, he's being sarcastic toward the guy because they're both idiots. But so then he's in bowling alley. He's talking to his friend Walter and Donnie, and well, Donnie's bowling, played by Steve Buscemi. Walter played by John Goodman, who really, he pretty much was the whole movie. He stole a lot of the thunder from freaking Jeff Bridges in the movie. He was more hilarious than Jeff Bridges. His psycho outburst and his 1,000 years of marriage. But yeah, I mean, I love John Goodman and Flintstones and a couple other movies I've seen him in, but God, he's just a trip in this movie. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, if the whole movie was, the star of the movie was freaking John Goodman going off and just being crazy, that would be an amazing movie. But so the dude, well, he likes to call himself the dude because he don't like being called Jeffrey Lebowski. He's telling Walter about his problem, and then Walter's telling him, "You know what, you should go talk to the other Lebowski, the other Jeffrey Lebowski guy," which is some rich old handicapped guy who is married to a porno star by the name of Buddy Lebowski, which you find out some other things about her later in the movie. So then his adventure starts. He goes to him, talks to him. He wants a rug because one of his dumb henchmen peed on his freaking carpet. And the guy starts going off rambling on about, "Well, you ain't you got a job, and did I urinate on your carpet and all that?" And it was just funny. And so Lebowski tells, what was his name in the movie? Well, he tells the character that Philip Seymour Hoffman plays in it, and he tells him that the Big Lebowski said he can have a carpet. He takes a carpet that has significant attachments to one of the other main characters of the movie, which is played by Juliana Moore by the name of Maud Lebowski, which you see her, I think after another scene in a bowling alley where him and Walter and them, they're doing a tournament game with a couple other guys, and I guess one of the guys is a pacifist, and he's bringing in his ex-wife's dog, and they're sitting there talking about it, and as they're talking about it, then and they're also talking about the situation with I think also, no, I think that probably afterwards, but he's sitting there talking. They're talking about a lot of things, and then Walter looks over, sees that. Well, I guess he thinks the guy was over the line. The guy claims he wasn't, and he just goes psycho and pulls out the gun. He's like, "Make it a 0," because the guy wanted to make it an 8, and he's like, "It's a 0." It just goes crazy. I'm telling you, John Goodman is a trip in this movie. Then afterwards, you see the dude at home laying on his new carpet. Then Maud and a couple of, I guess, her henchmen pop up, and one of them punches him in the jaws, and he's fantasizing about her on the carpet flying away, and he's flying in the sky. Next thing you know, he's got a bowling ball in his hand, and he's dropping. He wakes up. Then he gets a call from Mr. Lebowski again about Bunny missing, which is the main plot of the movie. He's supposed to find out who kidnapped, where Bunny is, and who kidnapped him, and supposed to pay the money, which you find out at the end what the thing was. But I'm gonna fast forward a little bit through this because I still got a couple other movies to talk about than this. But so I'm gonna fast forward to the point where they go to give the money to the nihilist, and one of the nihilists was one of the guys that was at Mr. Lebowski's mansion, laying there in the pool, laid out sleeping, and they were pretending they kidnapped Bunny when they really didn't. And Lebowski, the dude, comes to Walter, and Walter gives him the bag of undies. He says, "We're going to give him the ringer, and then we're going to get the lady." He had a plan to snatch one of the guys and beat it out of him to find out where Bunny is. I mean, God, it was just hilarious. Then, so afterward, the Lebowski, or the dude, I'll just call him the dude because he wanted to be called the dude throughout the whole movie. So, the dude and Walter go to this meet. They throw out the ringer that's filled with Walter's undies, and the nihilists take off, and Lebowski, or the dude's trying to run and say, "Oh, we got it right here, we got it right here." And then he's getting a call from the Lebowski. He's sitting there, not answering the phone. Then they're talking to Donnie. Then they go out to see where his car is, and it's missing, which I'm getting ready to jump to that part here in a sec. And he's like, "My car got stolen." And Walter's like, "What happened to your car, dude?" He's like, "Well, you don't know, Walter?" He's like, "Well, it was parked in a handicapped space. Maybe they towed it." And so then they eventually find out who took the car. It was some boy named Larry something, and he takes it. He took it for a little joyride, and then the dude finds out who it was, and they go to visit the boy. And Walter's with them because the dude found the boy's homework in there, and Walter's with them, and he's sitting there like, "Is this your homework? Is this your homework, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?" The dude's like, "Yeah, we know it's your homework. We know it's your homework." Walter, then he goes out to the trunk of the dude's car, and he thinks the boy bought that car with what was, come to find out, wasn't even no money in the case. They thought he bought it, and he's like, "This is what happens when you screw a stranger in the," And he's in there busting out the guy's window. The guy runs up. He's like, "What are you doing to my car?" Oh my God, oh goodness. I'll tell you, man, and like I said, if he was the star of this movie and he was going crazy throughout the whole movie, we needed more crazy John Goodman through this movie. But it was just hilarious how he was in that movie. But So then they eventually get to the point where they find out Bunnies came back to Mr. Lebowski's house after the dude, slept with Maud, and she wanted to get impregnated by him because she wanted to have a baby with someone she won't socialize with, or someone that has no intention of taking care of the kid. So then after that, the dude figures out the case. He goes to Lebowski's house, and Bunny's back running around outside naked, and they're like, "Oh, where's she at? Oh, she's back." And he's like, "Yeah, she's back. No thanks to you." And she says something, and then the dude's like, "Well, the nihilist knew," or no, I think it was Philip Seymour Hoffman's character that said she picked up and left without letting us know anything. And then the dude, because he knew that she was friends with the guy, he had seen the porno clip that Maud showed him with her and the nihilist in the same porno. So I think it was called Carl Hungus for the movie. So she's dancing around outside, and then Lebowski comes up and says, "Yeah, she's back, no thanks to you." And dude's going off on him because he knew he was using him just to sucker him and find an excuse to lose his money that he embezzled or something. And then Walter, because Walter was with him, Walter says, "I've seen a lot of spinals, and I think this guy walks." So he picks him up, and the dude's like, "Put him down, Walter, put him down." And then, Walter's like, "All right, I'll put him down. There you go." He walks, and then he just fell flat on his stomach. Walter was such an idiot, but like earlier in the movie, he was talking about some religious holiday that he had with his ex-wife. He's talking about on Shabbos, which is like some kind of Saturday. He said, "I don't work, or I don't drive, I don't work, I don't bowl," and all that. And he then the dude was saying something about, "Oh, that poor lady's gonna die in that," and then he eventually just started going, "Show her Shabbos! Show her Shabbos!" Oh man, I love John Goodman in that movie. And so then we get on to where the dude finally gets everything settled. I mean, there was a point where he had to meet a big-time porno director. I think the name was Jackie Treehorn, who the two dumb goons worked for, because they were trying to find Bunny and get the money that she owed him. And then he eventually meets him in the movie. But yeah, I mean, it's a hilarious movie. I love it. I'm gonna give this one 5 out of 5 because it's just very hilarious. And John Goodman really stole the show in the movie. I know it was meant for Jeff Bridges, but all right. Next up, we'll talk about the Friday movies written by Ice Cube and DJ Pooh. First one, and I've had arguments and debates with people about this, but the first one I felt like was more leaned toward a drama, crime type. I know there was a lot of hilarity in it, a lot of comedy in that, but there's a lot of drama in it, especially right around the ending part where he's fighting Debo and Big Worm's trying to kill him, and because Smokey keeps taking his weed and is supposed to be selling it, but he's smoking it instead. He gets Greg to smoke it with him. And Friday is one of my favorite Ice Cube movies. I'm looking forward to the next Friday movie because of how 3 was, which God awful what to talk about in a sec. And 2, I'm getting tired of seeing Ice Cube do on freaking family movies. But Friday, though, although I liked the movie, a lot of hilarity, a lot of drama mixed in. It was kind of, I think they were trying to do a hood/comedy type thing, or a hood crime/comedy, which it worked pretty well, but you can get that one a 4 out of 5. Now, next Friday, that movie is straight out, you can tell it's a comedy, because a lot of comedy throughout. And then except for, the last few moments of the movie where Debo finally catches up to Craig because he went to the suburbs with his uncle and his cousin Day Day, and Day Day's just got all this problems going on, all this drama going on with some chick he got a booty call from, and she was claiming she was pregnant by him. Then he had to deal with her sister, Baby D. He lost his job from Pinky because Craig and him and Roach was smoking weed back in the back because they had just dealt with Baby D and her sister, and then Pinky and Craig start fighting because Pinky thought Craig was trying to rob him. And that's just a hilarious scene overall with him and freaking Pinky. And then he's like, "Please don't kill me, man. I got kids. I got a girlfriend. I got a wife on the side, and yeah." So you could tell they were gonna make that one more hilarious, and it was very funny. I liked it. It was like my favorite out of the franchise is Next Friday. He also had Earl Sticky Fingers as Debo's brother Tyrone, which was, I guess, the comedy relief for Debo, because Debo's this intense, serious guy, and so yeah, I'll give Next Friday, because it is my favorite out of the franchise, a 5 out of 5. Now I'm gonna talk about Friday After Next. This one, the big villain was some freaking guy dressed up like Santa Claus and was stealing stuff, and a gay Terry Crews in the movie who's sitting there getting horny off of a Tupac video. But Terry Crews, man, I love him. He's a great actor. But man, it was just hilarious in that movie. And he wasn't one of the flaws in the movie. There was a lot of flaws in the movie, but he wasn't one of them. He really was funny. Especially when he tries to rape Money Mike. I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, wow. And then he gets his freaking ball stuck in a vice grip by Money Mike. Oh man, it was just, but Money Mike, they were planning on setting him up anyway, because the hoe or whatever she was that was working for him, Craig had a crush on, and Day Day had a crush on too, so he was trying to cock block Craig, and eventually Craig finally got his woman, because like in 3, like with the Jokers, he was in love with Joker's sisters. The first one, it was Debbie. This one, it was shoot, I forgot her name. But another thing too about the movie, you got to see more of freaking Craig's uncle, and him and his dad open a barbecue shop. And there's a point where they're doing the commercial for it, and they're like, "Man, these ribs taste so good, it makes you want to smack your mama in the face." At John Witherspoon's character, which was Greg's dad, he's like, "Hey, mama," smacks her in the face. Oh my God. And you can tell they were doing a lot of comedy for this one. Even the ending, because, usually when it gets to the ending, it gets real serious. But the ending for this one was just flat out, just straight up laughter throughout the whole thing. Except for the moment where where Money Mike had the vice grips on freaking Terry Crews' character's freaking balls, which I wonder if in the next Friday movie they're gonna still have him chasing Money Mike. I mean, Craig did say at the end that he was still chasing Money Mike around the hood. So maybe they start out with Money Mike still being chased by him. And a lot of the other things was, and honestly, one thing too that I didn't like is how scared of Terry Crews' character Greg and Day Day were, because I mean, come on now, dude's kind of another one of the main villains. We'll talk to it in a minute. But they apparently knew he was gay, and they're sitting there intimidated. And honestly, nothing against gays. I don't have nothing against them, but it's hard to be intimidated by a gay guy. Seriously, I mean, I don't care how big they freaking are. If you know they're gay, you're not going to take them seriously, and they took him seriously, but he does get, pretty riled up, angry, like he wanted to look like he was going to snap Money Mike in half once he got loose of those vice grips. So you never know. But the other main villain was some short, I guess you could say short bully, because they didn't have Zeus in this one, is Debo, which because of him being in jail. I really hope they do have Debo and Tyrone back, because Tyrone is hilarious. Especially in part 2 where he's sitting there talking to the freaking burrito guy, and he's sitting there saying, yeah, Craig's in trouble, come quick. And then he's like, tell him if he's got any questions, you can call on Tyrone. Debo smacks him upside his head. They just caps on Debo the whole freaking time. I guess he can get away with it because he's his brother, but so yeah, Friday After Next was like the worst out of the bunch. I mean, yeah, it was pretty hilarious, but I just didn't like the overall movie. I'm gonna give this one, I guess I'll give it a 3 out of 5, but I really don't care. Alright, now I'll just do the Cheech and Chong, and probably, because I know I'm like 20 minutes or so into the video, so I spent a lot of time. I'll do next year's 420, I'll do half baked in that. But I want to get the Cheech and Chong Nice Dreams, the best freaking movie in the franchise. I love it. And the hilarity, all the freaking crazy, wacky stuff that goes on, even the part where they're in a restaurant and they're snorting coke off of Donna's boobs and everything's hilarious. Then freaking when Cheech and Chong go up to the hotel with Donna, and her ex-husband or whatever is getting out of jail, and he's sitting there acting all crazy and stuff, and then Chong, there was a point where he went to get the ice, he comes back and he's pounding on the door, and Cheech freaks out and he climbs out the window, and he's stuck on the elevator butt naked, and like the whole time he's just going up and down that elevator freaking butt naked. There's even a point where he falls over, and then there's women in there and they're rubbing the thing, and the guys are sitting there. I guess a couple gay guys were in there too, because they were like, ooh yeah. But yeah, Cheech and Chong Nice Dreams, like I said, is my favorite. I've seen a lot of the other ones, and they really weren't as funny or as good as Nice Dreams. And overall, I know people love the Cheech and Chong movies, and I know a lot of people won't say probably as much bad stuff about them as I am, but really the other ones really wasn't as good as Nice Dreams. I mean, just amazing. I think Up in Smoke was another one that was pretty good. But other than that, Nice Dreams to me is my favorite out of the whole franchise. And somewhere down the line, I'll probably review the rest of the Cheech and Chong movies. But I'm going to give Cheech and Chong Nice Dreams a 5 out of 5 because I really love it. Best one out of the whole franchise of Cheech and Chong movies. And I've seen almost all of them, so my favorite's still Nice Dreams. Even as a kid, Nice Dreams. But that'll do it for this video. Sorry it took a little long because I went too in depth with the first Friday movie. But please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow me on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornby 83 Topics. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornby 83, and happy 420 and peace out.